Hey everyone, welcome to the Mama Genius Hope podcast. I've been thinking about what it means to belong. When life keeps changing, with everything shifting, family routines, work rhythm, even where we call home. There's been moments I wake up and I feel like I don't fit in, but I remember belonging isn't a place. It's a feeling when we pause to listen to ourselves and to one another. That's what today's circle is about. Symone has walked through her own seasons of transition, and she's helped women reconnect with who they are. Together, we are exploring what it looks like to find the sense of home inside ourselves, no matter where life leads us. Welcome to the Mama Genius podcast. I'm your host, Michelle DeKeyser, and this is your calm pause in the middle of mom life and business building. Each episode will take a few minutes to slow down, reconnect, and reflect on what matters most. Because you're safe to slow down, and you don't have to do it alone. Let's breathe again together. Symone, welcome to this circle. I know you've been part of circle in the past, and this isn't a new experience for you, but some people listening may name a women's circle. Wait, what is that? Is it just where women sit and chat? Not chatting, we're opening our hearts to listen to who we are. And so, Symone, I'm not sure if you're familiar or remember exactly how to stitch in, and it's okay if you did bring a candle with this, but I'm going to light a candle right now as we symbolize the start of this circle. And I really just like to see the light start to shine as we open up this space. It really is about connection and belonging. A lot of times we'll light the candle to open up the circle and show us a new light, a new way, a new perspective. That's how I view circle, to get a new perspective from those in circle with us, but also from ourselves, to really be able to hear from the heart. I'm Michelle. I am creator of Connecting Mamas, and my whole being is to help more women learn how we can communicate with each other, how we can take that to communicate with our kids, our families, and really open up to a new way of doing that. And so my intention for this podcast is really to come in and really be open to the idea of understanding and thinking more about how we belong, since that's the topic we've chosen for today. Symone, I'd love for you to stitch in as well.
Symone Fairchild. I am a thriver post-abuse. So I have survived childhood trauma. I've survived domestic abuse in a relationship. I am the CEO and founder of Eye on DV, the nonprofit to eradicate domestic violence. I'm also a filmmaker, a single mom to the most amazing 10-year-old in the world. I'm a martial artist, a master in Tien Chin Pai. My intention on the planet is to create a new paradigm, a paradigm of thriving and reminding people that it is our birthright to thrive. It's our birthright to lead into our inner core, our inner light. That's through helping victims and survivors, but it's also through our media and entertainment.
And honestly, that just warms my heart. Circle for me leads from Dr. Bowling, who created the millionth circle concept, a metaphorical number of when we get enough women circling or enough people circling, that we will shift the paradigm. Because we're shifting our understanding, we're shifting the way we look at things, the way we see things in a different light. That will help alleviate that. And so we've stitched in to create the safe space between the two of us, and welcome each of you as audience members into this space. A lot of times women's circles are not recorded to create the privacy. Luckily, Symone was gracious enough, and as I bring guests, is for this conversation to allow that to be public. So that is part of the sanctity of this, is to make sure that that was an agreement as part, because when I do ones, I do not record when women share. And so that is just so you know that coming into something like that, the sanctity of what that is. We're going to start by grounding together. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths together today. We're going to breathe in. And as we breathe out, release all the past, anything weighing on us. Breathe in again. And release anything from the future, to do's, anything. If you're driving, just take deep breaths with us. You don't need to close your eyes. And then breathe in again. And we're going to just bring ourselves into this present moment. And Simone, I'm just gonna, if your eyes I see are to close, just keep them closed. I'm gonna close my eyes with you, and we're just gonna ground in a little bit more. One of the things I like to do is really have us focus on our feet and really just feel your feet inside your shoes, your socks, on the ground, on the carpet, wherever your feet might be. And just breathe into it. Bring all your awareness to that space. And imagine vines growing out of your feet, connecting to the center of the earth. Visualize everyone listening to this episode connecting, like the mother tree who supports each other, and feel that support of women listening together. Bring that through your body and out through your hands as well. Feeling this circle of support, allowing you to see what feelings, what thoughts might come up from this circle as you're listening to this conversation. And then bring it to the top of your head and pick a color, whatever color pops into your mouth, have that shoot up from the top of your head. Connect to God, source, the universe, whatever that means for you. And feel that connection. We have so many listeners. You can see the rainbow effect when we connect and support. Even if we're not connecting this particular moment in space and time, as we're recording, we're connecting as you're listening. And you can feel that space and support. Then just breathe into that. Call forth your intuition. It may come forth as a voice, as another person in front of you. It may be a feeling in your gut, it may be a feeling in your heart. Whatever that means for you, just whatever happens, let it happen. Let it be. And greet your intuition. Maybe bring a smile to your face. Breathe into it, feeling the support of this circle between us. Ask for intuition. What does belonging mean to you? And how can you find more of it each day? Sit with it and see what it first pops up during a circle. I'd give you a chance to write this out. If you're listening to podcasts, feel free to sit with it and then pause it to write down. Simona, take a deep breath with me and release it whenever you're ready. Open your eyes. How are you feeling?
In my body, I can feel the heaviness of my hand. I can feel my legs. I feel the fullness of my hands and my fingers. I can feel my body fully compressed against the seat. Feel grounded in my skin, in my body.
Feel in my chest, like bubbles, excitement of us coming together and what it creates. Last night, my chest was so tight with stress, but now it feels like a conversation of joy inside my chest from us grounding together. I want to acknowledge that before we get in. When we're in circle and we have more people and we might not speak right away, we're not going to have a conversation between the two of us right now. We might piggyback a little, but not to respond to each other, just to add to our own experience. I want to open it up to the idea of belonging, hearing the story we talked about, and anything that comes up for you, especially with your work, how you help women and the movie creating, anything that might open for you.
Well, what I've come to understand that belonging is at its root is belonging, the need that people have to belong to a club, relationship, or anything outside of themselves means they're not grounded in their own belonging of self. Once an individual does the work to understand what their greatest self is, who their greatest self rooted in the fact that we are source, each of us individually, human versions of source. So once you understand, ooh, I'm getting the goosebumps and the chills. Once you understand that, one, and once you live that and align with it, and the you are on the same wavelength, once there is a through line of that understanding frequency wise, what aligns with that frequency will naturally start to come into your field. It's always been waiting for you. What you are meant for has been waiting for you. It's a matter of growing into that frequency and it'll start to show up. Belonging is rooted in self, but the self has to align with the greatest self, which is source, which is belonging to self. It's like a circle. It's a beautiful thing. When I mentioned the goosebumps, that is the evidence of what and who you belong to. But it's not ownership, it's an alignment. You'll get that evidence from time to time when you speak of things or experience certain people or environments that align with the source, with the self. And that's what I help other people do. That's what I help women do, especially those who have experienced trauma, to heal and have the courage to turn inward and align with the self. It is steps to process the trauma and get beyond that, which by walking that journey, I can be that light for others. That's how you thrive.
Are you complete?
I am complete.
One of the things I do in my circles is kind of like beaming our love to each other. I'm not going to respond when I share right now. This allows me to just acknowledge, say to Symone, I see, I hear you, I love what you just said. And she gets to receive that. As women, how often do we receive?
We're programmed to not be receivers. Yeah.
One of the reasons why I asked if she was complete was because sometimes with silence, there'll be pauses. There were a couple times where I thought she might be complete, but then she just meows. The tendency is to jump on that first pause and stop their flow. So we want to make sure they've decided they're complete, that you're complete. And that allows for this space. These are the little things we do differently to train our brains to be a little bit different, to be more receptive to the listening instead of, especially, I'll tell you, with Mama Bear, for me, with the belonging, right? When I'm with my daughters, especially my 12-year-old, I'll walk in and she starts saying something, you want to be a Mama Bear and fix the problem. I've learned to just close my mouth and say, no, I'm going to wait. The pause happened. And she keeps talking. Next thing I know, I still have not said a word. It's like, okay, I'm done with you, Mom. Bye. We're giving them the confidence to do that. I was reading or listening to The Anxious Generation and how we are creating an anxious generation. I mean, thinking about, there was one example in there of a I think she was 11-year-old whose mom was working and she decided, oh, I can go to the splash pad down the street by myself. She asked, where's your mom? And she's like, oh, she's at work. The cops were called on her. An 11-year-old, that's the age of babysitting, right? And so when are we going to allow our kids to explore? If you ask the older generation, when were they given freedoms to walk to school? Some of it was 5, some 6. We're limiting creative play that allows them to do that. Some schools were allowing like free play after school where there was an adult like way in the corner who really did not interject unless needed. And the amount of bullying and things that happen because the kids learn you must follow this rule and the parent's going to jump on it and interject with it. I was experiencing that with my younger daughter. A nature is like, I personally didn't want to be the parent that was like jumping in and like coming in. I was like, what can you do to rectify this? And if all else fails, having that conversation with her, then jumping in. As Symone was saying, belonging really does start with the self, right? I was giving some examples of belonging that I've seen in external, but I've been struggling with the internal belonging. I think it starts with appreciating and celebrating your own uniqueness and genius. A lot of times we think, oh, anyone can do that. And that stops us from truly being able to belong because we doubt our own worth. For me, I use the word God. fill in the blank for whatever you want. God gave me that gift and I downplay it. And that doesn't allow me to belong as much because I'm downplaying this when I'm trying to reach out to belong. I'm not belonging, as Symone mentioned, about who you are, who is that person inside of you. When you downplay those gifts, it makes it hard to belong with the right people around you. The reason why I even create this was because I was finding I was downplaying who I wanted to be. Being an entrepreneur, I didn't know any. The people I did know were like, well, you're a mom already. Aren't you doing enough? So I shrunk back down to belong. If you want to be on the same level. For me, it really was figuring out what is my level? Where am I at? What do I want to express? And looking for people who are going to help that flourish. But I first had to acknowledge, for me, what is that? What are my gifts? And I'm still struggling with that right now. That's why we're having these conversations, because it really opens up. This is the first podcast of this nature. I'm very thankful to Symone for figuring out how this is going to work. It opens up the idea that it's about listening to each other and giving each other space to say what's on your heart without knowing that someone's going to cut you off. This happened to me. I am complete. I'm holding my hands out to receive as Symone sends to me her way of sharing and exchange with acknowledgement. I want to have us stitch out of this belonging conversation what we gain from this. For those of you listening, I want to go into how Symone has felt being in Circle and give her a chance to share more of her products and how they can get hold of you. I want to close out Circle, but leave it to you, Symone. Share your name and what you gained from this exchange.
Symone Fairchild. I feel very present, grounded, whole here, engaged, safe, very much me. Interesting. What I feel now, I can really feel the inside of my ears. I feel like I'm really listening to what I'm saying, but I'm also listening to what's inside. What is really drawing my attention is the inside of my ears. It's really that's the first. But yeah, that's how I feel.
And I'm Michelle, stitching out with feeling the intention of trying to do things differently and changing this conversation, feeling a little reserved as I first came in, but feeling a little bit more grounded that this conversation needs to happen. And I love that you're feeling that way because it gives us that space to realize I had this whole opportunity to be heard. I know I was going to be cut off. I know someone's not going to jump on top of me finishing my thoughts. And that was the biggest thing I want to do. So we're going to close out this circle. And so now go into a couple of questions. If this podcast feels like a calm pause in your day, that's exactly what Mama Genius Circles are for. Circles are virtual gatherings where moms come to pause, connect, and listen to what their hearts are really saying. It's a space where you feel supported, gain clarity, and take those crazy ideas that light you up and really make them real. Bring your coffee or your candle and come as you are and reconnect to the women beneath the busy to-do list. Join us at our next free circle at mamageniushub.com/co-create. Again, mamageniushub.com/co-create. Can't wait to see you at the next circle. So first of all, I know Symone, and she's been to virtual circles of mine as well as an in-person circle in Cancun. So I just love to give your take on what is different did you feel in terms of being in a circle versus just a normal conversation? How do you explain that to women? It's a little bit different.
A lot of times when people are in conversation, they're just waiting to respond, not listening. This is a different type of conversation. It's truly holding space for someone else and allowing yourself to be grounded. In order to truly hold space, you have to be the grounding force. In the safety of you grounding and holding the space, I was able to ground and hold a space for you. This is a spiritual conversation, allowing us to really listen.
I know we're going to be running out of time, so I want you to tell a little bit about your projects and how people can get a hold of you, share how people can get in touch with you.
I am in the process of developing a documentary called Lean Into Fear, and it's about the seed of trauma, first act. Second act is about how trauma has been allowed to perpetuate throughout our society and be perceived as normal. The third act is about how do we get beyond that? How do we get beyond survivorship? The tools to do that are within ourselves. That's how we thrive. Let's lean into fear. What I'm looking for right now are people who want to come on board and help sponsor and help donate to the funding. I am planning a gala to support the funds of Lean Into Fear and the launching of my film and television production company, Dragon Entertainment. The gala will be called Hollywood Against Trauma Gala, and we're looking at December 12th or December 13th, hopefully at the Avalon Theater in Hollywood. We would love to have you. To get in touch, I am Symone Fairchild on TikTok. I am on Instagram. I'm also Symone Fairchild on Facebook and on YouTube.
Thank you, Simone, for circling with me and being vulnerable. You don't need to be vulnerable with everyone, but choosing the people that you're willing to. And she's willing to share some of these thoughts out loud, which again, in circle, not recorded. This is a safe place for you to come in and have that experience. So if that's something you want to try, come to connectingmamas.com and sign up for your free circle. See you on the next episode. Bye. Thank you for sharing this space with us today. I hope this reflection gave you a moment of calm and reminded you that you're safe to slow down. Please share with someone who also needs to slow down. If you are craving more connection, come join a Mama Genius Circle, where we breathe, reflect, and create together. You'll find all the details at mamageniushub.com/co-create. Until next time, breathe, listen, and keep following your heart's next gentle step.